Well, hey guys, welcome back. And it is no surprise at this point that Disney is not doing a very good job managing all the IPs that they have spent billions of dollars acquiring. And of course, they have let a lot of people down with a lot of these awful live action remakes. And of course, the MCU is in a very bad state given the fact that they have essentially wasted characters and money and talent year after year trying to rekindle the flames that they basically put out at the end of Endgame. So this article from that Park Place says Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars delayed as Marvel's 2026 slate shrinks. No word yet on Sony's Spider-Man Brand New Day. Now, to be honest, I'm not sure. I know that Spider-Man's going to do well, but I don't think that necessarily that Marvel has the draw that it once had, especially given the fact that now that it seems like they're desperate, they're trying to roll back out Robert Downey Jr. after killing him off at the end of Endgame. Sorry guys, spoiler, 3 years late. But yeah, I just don't think that they're going to rekindle the magic that they once had. So the article says Marvel Studios is shifting its plans once again. Disney has officially delayed the release of its next two Avengers tentpole features, Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, pushing both films back by 7 months from their original release dates. Doomsday is now scheduled to debut on December 18th, 2026, instead of its prior date of May 1st, 2026. The follow-up, Secret Wars, will now premiere on the 17th of December, 2027, instead of May 7th, 2027. Secret Wars is going to be 2027. That's crazy. Is anybody even still going to be paying attention to Marvel in 2027? This just seems absolutely nuts. Of course, this follows a lot of the recent Disney flops, the Marvel flops that we've seen. I mean, look, what was it? The new Captain America movie didn't even make any money. I don't know if that Black Widow standalone movie made any money at all. The Disney Plus shows are not cutting it. The numbers have been abysmal. And this, of course, is right around the same time we're seeing articles like this from Games Radar talking about Last Jedi director Rian Johnson. Rian Johnson, who everybody despises based on what happened with the sequel trilogy and the lack of organization. And basically, there was no cohesive thought going through the entire series, the trilogy. Apparently, he still wants to make his Star Wars trilogy, even though there's been no update for 8 years. So I don't know if this is just Disney trying to put out like positive PR, try to spin this in like a positive light. But I guess he is still excited, hoping it's going to happen. Somebody asked him from The Independent, what happened? He says, what happened? Knives Out happened. I mean, I kind of went down the murder mystery rabbit hole. I'm focused on making other stuff, but that wouldn't rule out it happening down the line. If I get back in the Star Wars universe someday, I'd be the happiest person. And of course, we also saw last year that they announced that Daisy Ridley's going to have her own standalone Star Wars movie picking up where they left off. I don't think that's going to happen. We've got this Mandalorian and Grogu movie coming out in May 2026. That's going to be a disaster. So again, Disney is just in a really bad spot right now with a lot of the decisions they've made. Which brings us to the latest rumor regarding Doctor Who. This, partnership between the BBC and Disney? Now, this is from comicbookmovie.com, and it says rumor, although I'm seeing other sites confirming this, so I don't know if this is officially confirmed yet or not. But it says, rumor, Doctor Who star Ncuti Gatwa axed from the series after recently upsetting BBC bosses. Now, again, I've already said before, and I'll say it again, I don't watch Doctor Who, so for me, I'm looking at this as somebody from the outside looking in, documenting this. But basically what I've taken away from this is that this show has gotten progressively worse, ironically more progressive with each iteration. A lot of the actors have come out attacking people like J.K. Rowling behind the scenes, speaking out, very, very, very left-wing liberal talking points, and basically just antagonizing the longtime fans as best they can. So it says there's more disappointing news for Doctor Who fans, or welcomed news if you've not been enjoying Russell T Davies' revival, as it's being reported that the BBC has decided to axe Ncuti Gatwa from the show. Doctor Who only has 2 episodes left. I didn't even realize season 2 was still going. Before season 2 concludes, and another report has just hit the British tabloids via the Gazette, claiming that Ncuti Gatwa's time as the Doctor is indeed up. The sex education and Barbie actor, there's a hell of a resume for you, is said to have dropped out of announcing the UK's jury scores in last week's Eurovision Song Contest at the last minute. That was reportedly in response to Israel being included in the annual singing competition. Oh God, so he's one of these, okay. He's one of these free Palestine people, I guess. I don't know. Now, a supposed insider tells the newspaper if the final nail wasn't already in the coffin, it was well and truly hammered in after that. Bosses were incredibly disappointed. Ncuti, as the Doctor, is one of the corporation's most high-profile faces. His withdrawal has increasingly embarrassed Disney, or BBC, I guess. It caps what has been a largely depressing tenure in the TARDIS for Ncuti. While the Sun isn't exactly a reliable source, the UK's tabloids have frequently had a head start on Doctor Who news, so we're not entirely dismissing this. The report adds that Disney Plus is unlikely to renew its deal with the BBC to continue funding the long-running sci-fi series, meaning a budget cut is inevitable. In fact, it's said that the BBC is likely now to rest the series as it considers how to revive its fortunes. Maybe stop. Maybe stop trying to revive it, or if you're gonna revive it, give it to somebody who doesn't hate the fans. I mean, that's a crazy thought, I know, it's 2025, imagine thinking that. For what it's worth, the BBC has issued a brief statement in response to the Sun story. Says, as we previously stated, the decision on Season 3 will be made after Season 2 airs, and any other claims are pure speculation. The deal with Disney Plus was for 26 episodes, and we still have an entire spin-off, The War Between the Land and Sea, to air. And as for the rest, we never comment on the Doctor and future storylines. So earlier this week, it was reported that the next Doctor has already been chosen, and it may be a familiar face from the past. They're probably going to bring the last guy back, the guy that they split off into Ncuti Gatwa. However, it now sounds like Doctor Who Season 2 will end in an open-ended manner, presumably to allow a new showrunner to recast the Doctor and start over. It's worth noting that the trades reported several months ago that Doctor Who had filmed 2 endings in the event of Gatwa's departure. He's thought to be eager to resume his Hollywood career. What Hollywood career? Like, this guy, honest to God, other than a few weird things he's been in, nobody knows his name. Nobody cares outside of the people who watch Doctor Who. Russell T Davies' Doctor Who revival in the early 2000s was met with widespread acclaim, drawing huge ratings in the process. However, his return has not received the same warm response, with many critical of his, quote, woke storylines. Well, it is woke. It's not. This is one of these situations where it's okay to call woke. There's no question about this. This show is entirely woke. While this has always been a very inclusive series, storylines featuring a same-sex romance with a doctor, non-binary aliens, and incels have proved a turn-off given how heavy-handed the themes were. Shocking! This is why She-Hulk did so poorly, guys. Even the sci-fi stories haven't quite clicked, and the show is no longer the draw it once was. Chris Chibnall's disappointing run with Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor also drove away a lot of viewers. Stay up tuned for updates on Doctor Who as we have them. So again, while this does seem to be just a rumor, as again, the BBC will not confirm it, this seems pretty legit. This seems pretty definite, but I'll be curious to hear what you guys have to say about this. Is anybody even still watching this show? Like I said, I could have sworn that Season 2 of this show wrapped up a long time ago, due to the fact that nobody is even talking about it. Like, this is the first I'm hearing news about this show, it feels like, in months. But either way, guys, let me know what you think about this all in the comments down below, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Alright, and if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you for being here. I do have 2 channels, Minimal Effort Podcast, as well as my gaming channel. I do have a Twitch and Kick for my gaming channel. We do live streams over there occasionally, maybe once a week. And then if you are in the market for a new PC, make sure to check out Meta PCs. Click the link I have down below. Use code TBO at checkout for a special discount. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.